out of you either. I'm sick. Welcome in. Today is February 4th, 2026. And this is another episode of the podcast Unlatched with myself, Nirvana, and
co-host, the Dynamicist.
And heavy on the coal, because the nigga don't do shit. Okay, welcome in. We wanted to say we have a song. We're going to play a song. Okay, can you hear me okay? I really want to know because I have a cold, guys. And so I don't know if I'm projecting. And so I'm asking him if I sound okay.
No, it sounds like you're asking for sympathy, like you're just trying to get your information out there.
Okay, I'm gonna hit. I have a song.
Yeah, please do. Thank you.
Because we're gonna be. We might touch on.
What's wrong with you?
We're gonna touch on a few things that might hurt a few people's feelings. It may or may not, but if it does, he came up with the topic. All right, here we go. Got a song. Gotta go. We'll be back. We'll be back. This is called "So Beautiful" by Music Soul Child. Everybody can hear it. Sit down.
Love this shit.
And be quiet.
You're my baby, my lover, my lady. All night you make me want you. It drives me crazy. I feel like you were made just for me, babe. Tell me if you feel the same way, 'cause it just feels so right. I don't wanna waste no time. If I had to choose, I know I'm gonna always choose to be with you. 'Cause girl, don't you know? Girl, don't you know you're so beautiful? I wanna give all my love to you, girl. Not just tonight, but the rest of your life. I wanna be always here by your side. Girl, don't you know you're so beautiful? I wanna give all my love to you, girl. Not just tonight, but the rest of your life. I wanna be always here by your side. When you're not here, you don't know how much I miss you.
Welcome in, guys.
The whole time on my mind is how much I'm gonna get to make you feel so good, like you know I could. Tell me if you feel the same way, 'cause it just feels so right. I don't wanna waste no time. Girl, if I had to choose, I know I'm gonna always choose to be with you. Girl, don't you know? Girl, don't you know you're so beautiful? Yeah, babe. I wanna give all my love to you, girl. Not just tonight, but the rest of your life. I wanna be always here by your side. Girl, don't you know you're so beautiful? I wanna give all my love, not just to you, girl. I wanna be always by your side.
Jackson, are you typing in the answers for the chat? I think he's typing it in, y'all.
Hey, baby.
It's called "So Beautiful" by Music Soul Child. Hi, everybody. Welcome in. Hi, Shan. Yes, long time no see, baby. Hi
Baby, don't you know you're so beautiful, beautiful. Baby, don't you know you're so beautiful? Baby, don't you know you're so beautiful, beautiful. Baby, don't you know you're so beautiful?
We all want to feel beautiful and loved, don't we? Thank y'all for sliding. Hi, Tia. Well, Dynamicist, aka, I mean, I
Go ahead,
was gonna say his.
go ahead, now give my government. Go
No,
ahead.
no,
No,
no.
no, no.
I
We do
stop.
this
No, no.
every week.
Okay, thank you
Give me
guys
the
for
government.
coming in. We appreciate it so much. Okay,
Listen,
what?
before you get going though,
Mm-hmm.
so I saw some of the comments come up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what was interesting was I didn't see one of them, and it was Marianne's comment. And I was like, well, where did she put that comment at if it's not on the live? It's she's on the other live,
Oh, the vertical?
the vertical live. Yeah, she's on the vertical. So it's really interesting to see how this thing interfaces.
Yeah.
Because some of y'all comments are coming through. We see your comments, but we don't know which side you're on. So you actually might be on the side that the conversation is not happening in. If
Mm-hmm.
that's the case, look for the other version and then kind of work it like that. I think that's the best way to do it.
Right. But thank you guys for coming in. So tonight, I just like Music Soul Child, but he's a singer of love, right? And we were having a conversation, the Dynamicist and myself today.
And
And
I,
just, huh?
and I.
Oh God. You guys come help me. Somebody rescue me from him. This is crazy. The Dynamicist and I, can you believe this shit?
I was just saying. That's
Had
all
a
I'm saying.
conversation. I said I don't mind being corrected, okay? Damn. Anyway. Okay, look. No, but for real, you guys. Okay, so we were talking about a couple of things, but one of the things we were talking about was we both know people, and I don't know if it's just a male or female thing, but it started off as a conversation about females, women, okay? And the idea of women being single and having a hard time finding a man. Okay, now before we get into the topic, this goes, I don't care whether you're heterosexual, homosexual, I don't care about none of that. I also don't particularly, although we are Black, African American, college, whatever, I don't know what you want to call, but whatever your nationality is or ethnicity, so be it. I'm sure this is across the board. Okay. At the end of the day, I've asked a few of my friends after he and I had a conversation. Okay. And the people that I have asked are of mature age. Okay. And I had one position when it came to women being single and wanting to be in a relationship so bad. I always seem to deem it as a negative. Like, why are you quote unquote thirsty? Why do you want a relationship so bad? And it would just actually irritate me. To be honest, I would get annoyed when I would hear women talk about being so desperate to be in a relationship. And I'd be like,
Mhm.
damn, you will go to any length. You don't give a damn what you get. You just want to say you're in a relationship. And I was very hell bent on I be damn. Now, I mean, in all fairness, I'm happily married, right? And have been for a long time. So I guess from the outside looking in, people could say it's easy for you to say, right? But
Mhm.
this is for any of us. The day could come where anyone could be propelled into the life of singlehood again. Whether
Mhm.
it's a partner passing away or going through a divorce, whatever the case may be, right? So Jason, I have a little video. I think he has some content too, but what were your thoughts on some of that before we get started?
Well, just kind of going along with the train of thought was the curiosity. And so I wonder what is this? And how will we make sense of this in an everyday sense? Because most of the narratives that I've heard about it don't really measure up
Mhm.
personally. They don't seem to account for these anomalies that I'm noticing. And I'll say this without getting totally into it before we get into the video, is I think there's more to the story. And
Mhm.
so tonight, I kind of wanted to dig further into that. Um, and for those of you who are in the chat, this is actually a great opportunity for you to share more about what your experience is, because I have a unique experience. I've been married, I've been divorced, I am single at this point. Not single because I don't have an option, single because I do have, because I'm choosing to be where I'm at, right? But then there's a privilege that comes along with that, and I acknowledge that. And so we'll get into some of those aspects. I don't think I have all the answers here, not with this one. Some shit I do be feeling
Oh
like I do be
God.
knowing. This is not one of them. I don't feel like I just, you know, just all the way around like I fully grasp this one. But I am curious to hear.
I feel
And
the same way too. Like
yeah,
I feel like I was thinking this earlier. It's like, okay, when I speak to this, I want to be clear that it's from my lens. And I am aware that my lens is just that, right? It's my version of
yeah,
what I understand. But I know that that could be different for everybody and your own experience. So I understand that, and so I'm open to hearing what other people may think about this, because again, this is universal. I think for a lot of people. I didn't really, one of the videos, Leslie Jones, and I didn't watch the
oh, I
whole
know
thing
Leslie.
with Drew. She had this says this was a little while ago, but Leslie sat down with Drew Barrymore show, the Drew Barrymore show, and the title says Leslie Jones is single because she's tired of raising boys. And this is going to be obviously from Leslie's perspective, but
Mhm.
I wanted to listen to this. It's only about 3 minutes long.
Yeah, it's a
I'm
good
gonna
one. I think I'm familiar with it though.
remember. Okay, I'm gonna
Mhm.
share my screen and see what Leslie has to say about it.
Ships.
All right.
Single over here.
Okay.
Leslie, single or
Blessed
dating?
and hydrated and very happy. And no, I'm single because I'm tired of raising boys. I'm tired.
I do not want a project.
I'm tired. Y'all don't get it. Y'all don't understand truly, and I'm saying this with all my heart. Y'all think that we want you to get your blank together for us. We want you to get it together for you.
For us.
For you. Only for you, because for real, you want us to have kids with you. You want us to have futures with you, and you won't grow up. And some of y'all 39, 40, y'all you gotta grow up. It's so annoying. It's so annoying that you don't understand that you're not taking responsibility for your mental and your actual physical health.
We are not your mama. I think I didn't know J-Lo had that song until I went to a concert.
I'm not your mama.
I did not know that, but we ain't your mama. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I'm not your mother. Grow up. Grow up.
God, Leslie, why can't we both be into women and we could be into each other and date? Because I am telling you, this is the relationship that I am looking for.
Okay, first of all, if I was into women, you're not my type. But listen, it's okay. It's okay. I'm just not that into you.
But you know what? If you're like looking, I have some ideas because I tried dating apps for a little while.
That first of all, they just need to put all the apps on one app and call it What's Left.
Right.
You scared the dog. The dog was like, yo, Jude, what's up with that? The dog, you done scared the dog. Is like, done. He is sick of you. He is sick of you. That dog is sick of you.
My God, Leslie.
He know his way around the studio too.
So
it's okay, baby girl.
Wait a minute. Wait, it's the name of the app, too.
I mean, you want to find the love of your life? Here's what's left. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yes.
Oh my God. What's left
so
is
annoying.
my favorite new. And by the way, you're so right. Just combine them into one thing and say what's left.
Listen.
This is not
if I was an FBI investigator, I would be on those apps every day. All them dudes are serial killers. They all serial killers. and they don't realize how terrible their profiles are. You know what I'm saying? The one with the fish.
Okay, so she's kind of clowning or whatever. But okay, so her bottom line was what? I don't want to raise a man. I mean, I don't want to raise a boy. I want you to have your shit together. And she obviously is not she's not into the apps or the dating apps. I mean, unless that was just a joke, but I think a lot of people do feel that way. You know, are not confident with dating apps for some reason. It's 2026. So I kind of feel like, you know, at this point, you know, I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, you use it responsibly, like you should when you don't meet somebody on it the same way. I mean, you know, I don't know. How do you feel about dating apps?
Well, you know what? I was opposed to them at one time. I think my stance has softened a little bit because I've known several people that actually have some pretty cool relationships who met each other on dating apps, and which to me I thought was extremely foreign. I'm a social interaction type of guy. I like the organic scenario, right? To meet people organically, however that happens. You know, I've tried. Let me rephrase that. I really haven't tried much on the dating apps. I've been on one.
Not you about to lie to my. Well, wait. Maybe I did.
Yeah, because I can't say I tried. Because a try will be like, okay, I'm actively leaning into it, right? I didn't do that. I created a profile, really didn't manage it. I didn't know what to say about myself.
Wow.
Which was.
Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt. I apologize. You didn't know what to say. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Ooh, now you know that nigga lying. Go ahead.
First of all, I'm not lying. I'm serious.
Okay.
I really didn't know what to say. But nevertheless, right, let me get back to the point.
Right.
So I was sitting there trying to figure out, like, well, how in the fuck do people do this? And then you get some interaction, and then, you know, you say something back. I couldn't find my rhythm. Everything to me just seemed, what's the word for disingenuous?
Okay, that's
orchestrated. Disingenuous, though. It just seemed very disingenuous.
Because
truth be told, what I'm really interested in is them titties I seen. But for me to say that in the midst of this conversation, you were just now texting back and forth, or IMing back and forth, it really wouldn't fit. So to me, it feels
Mhm.
like, oh, okay, well,
So you would be
I don't
more
know
of
enough
the
about you.
you would use the apps like for a one night stand, like what do you call it? What do they call?
Tin-
What's the one back page?
no, it was a Tinder, because I think Tinder
Tinder.
was for
Okay,
hookups,
Tinder,
right?
where
But
they
I
was like,
know several
hmm
people that had hookups. That's the one that I do know of. Several people that I know have had hookups on that scenario, on that
hmm
website, but they got kids and marriage and shit like that down the road.
okay, so it's
Started,
not. hmm They
yeah.
started off wanting a one night stand and actually got in a relationship. So I
Um,
guess there's several ways it could happen, but I mean, I mean, I'm trying to stop saying at the end of the day so much, but the bottom line is, it could work. Those apps could work. We've seen it work. We know they could work. Um, but anyway, that was Leslie's thing, and I think there's women that feel that way. Okay, now what about back to this whole thing? Like, I can't meet a man. The woman who says I can't meet a man. Let me tell you this. I'm gonna read you something that one of my friends wrote back to me. Okay, I'll of course leave out. I won't say any names just in case, but this was a good response. Okay, so I posed the same thing. What do you think about the fact that men are hard to find, or we can't at a certain age having a hard time, right?
did Truth say that?
No. Who? What was she here? Are you talking about what I'm reading? No.
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
Okay.
So this is my friend. I don't know if you need context on her age or her status, but this is what she says. She said, "No way," because I was saying about middle-aged women having a hard time finding a man. So she said, "No way. There are so many good men out there. I believe expectations can be too high, and people don't live in reality. Like, for example, physical expectations. I say that because blank, she gave me a name, is still single and hung up on way too many expectations. I found somebody else, okay? So she's talking about her boyfriend. She gave me her boyfriend's name. I found so and so, and if something happened with us, I would take some time for myself and get back out there. Being single by all means is a choice. That
Mm,
that's what she said. Okay. She
mm,
goes on to say, there's also people like my friend, and she gave me her guy friend's name, that complains and whines that he can't find someone and he hates being single, but his expectations are way too high. He's 60, he's not good looking, and he wants a blonde, blue eyed 22-year-old. He also doesn't have any money. He has met and dated women his age that like him, but he won't settle. He always finds something wrong with them. Okay, that's what she said. Now, what you think about that?
it's given delusion.
Right. Now that was the man. That was the man version. The
So,
man version.
yeah. Wow. Okay. Uh, you know what? I really appreciate her approach to that, and her thought process as it relates to it, because that it is refreshing to hear the statement that it's a choice. I think it's worth delving into, because do we fully consider that it's always a choice, right? I don't hear that often.
That is a choice.
Yeah, I don't hear that. What I hear is I can't find a good guy, or there are no good men out there, or females is bugging, blah blah blah. You hear a lot of these type of statements. You don't typically hear that one. So for her to say that in this, and she's in our age demographic, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
She's in her early 50s.
So with the statement about the choice thing, and our expectations. That's what she highlighted, right? Was expectations.
Yeah.
Could that be the case though?
Your expectations are too high.
Or just given delusional?
Right. Let's be
And
fair.
what if that's what the issue is? What if it's because of what? Ooh, this doesn't. All right, so let me. Yeah, this is a tough one. But let me say it like this. I don't believe that I'm an unattractive man
Mm-hmm.
by any stretch of the imagination, right? I don't believe that.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I think I do acknowledge that there are levels.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to ask me an objective question, hey, what would you rank yourself out of 1 to 10? What would you give? What number would you give yourself? I'm not likely to say a 10. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
likely to say a 9 or anything like that. That's just not what I see. That's not what registers for me, right? Now, could it be could it be that you have poor self image? Could it some of those things that weigh in as to why I would say I'm, nowhere near those those 9, 8, 9s, and 10s and
So
shit?
you're
I would.
mid 6'7", 6'7". Okay, so what are you saying? You see yourself as mid. So what's your point?
Well, that's the point,
That you see
right?
yourself as mid?
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. I can say that, and I'm perfectly okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
But so when I'm thinking about
Mm-hmm.
women or I'm thinking about the opposite sex,
Mm-hmm.
I'm also not expecting 8, 9s, and 10s. I think that's where the issue comes in at for
Okay.
sometimes, right?
For people.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's where the issue comes in. I think that the delusion of what it is that you are, and then now I do believe in that you can raise your stock though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe you can raise your stock. I think
Mm-hmm.
there's some simple ways for men to do it. I'm very aware of those things that men do to raise their stock,
Mm-hmm.
um, which means you increase the pool that you can choose from.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, I still think it's applicable for women, but it just looks differently because
Mm-hmm.
I think at that point you are targeting what matters to the opposite sex.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be intentional about that. If you're trying to raise your stock in this arena, like if I'm fucking I got stock in Apple and I want to gain more, well, if the stock drops, I buy more, right? But if it's still high, then maybe I don't. So, but how can I still increase my portfolio? Maybe I want to look into, well, what else is moving at this time, right?
Okay.
I'm leveraged out here. What else can I do around here? Or maybe, hey, yeah, but they're still going to keep moving. Then let me put more money into it, whatever the case may be. But I think there's some really tangible things that we could do to raise our stock. So, before we get into that, to answer your question, the whole delusion piece, I wonder if that's playing a role. And people just have these ideas, like you 4'2" and you want a 6'5" nigga, like, or whatever. It's like, how does that work? Like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't get that. Like,
So um she's to her point, she said Leslie is saying uh I don't want to raise a man, and that's her issue. My friend is saying, hey, there's no excuse for you women that are out here saying that you can't find a good man, or you men that are out here saying you can't find a good woman. That's bullshit. And it's bullshit. She's calling bullshit because she's saying you niggas want too much. You motherfuckers are delusional. You are a 6'7". Some of you niggas is a 1. And I'm gonna go ahead and just call a thing, and you niggas is walking around like you 6 and 7s, and you really a 1 or a 2. And you may be a 1 or a 2, not just because of your looks, but because of your income or your body odor. A lot of shit can make you a 1 or 2. So let's just keep it a buck. This is niggas and bitches. Okay, so I'm telling you right now, if you a 1 or a 2 and you walking around like your shit don't stink, don't come on this panel and come on this live and make no comments in here talking about you can't find nobody because there ain't nobody out there. Well, you need to do what Jason just said and raise your stock. So if you funky, you gonna have to bathe, or you may have to make $100,000 a year. You can't be broke and funky. I mean, let's get the low-hanging fruit out of the way, because we're having a real grown-up conversation here. So you below average motherfuckers, step to the left, because we talking to mid 6, 7, and up. Okay, if Jason considers himself mid, nigga, I'm gonna need you niggas to be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Go ahead, Jason. I just want to put that disclaimer out there because I'm trying to get rid of the riffraff before we go any further, before this gets deeper. We 30 minutes in. Go ahead. Because we're not playing no games. We don't have a lot of time. We're trying to help people out here tonight. Yeah.
We are. We are. Yes, thank you. So, when you said that 6'7" shit though a couple times and you reemphasize it, I'm feeling some kind of way about that.
Well, I just like to say, because that's the new thing. Mid 6'7", 6'7" is the new thing. So you feel so now you raising your stock.
I said, hold on, wait a minute.
I put that at the bottom of the barrel. We starting with 6'7". That nigga said, wait, I might be an 8 now. Hold on. Okay.
You getting a little reckless with this.
Okay.
No, but
Luke Shan said, say it for the folks in the back. Right.
No, but seriously though. So yeah, so what is it like, and how do you how do you navigate this space, right? Without, how do you be more realistic without also being self-deprecating?
Okay, good
right?
question. Yeah.
And I think that's a fine line.
Yeah.
But one of the simple ways to look at that, right, is when you think about it like this. On one hand, right, I can fully acknowledge where I am. I can fully acknowledge the things that I see in my circumference.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that I am accepting it. It also doesn't mean that I might agree with it or whatever the case may be. I can still be ambivalent about whatever it is. The thing, though, I think what troubles a lot of us is that we're not even willing to acknowledge what is. Right? So just because you acknowledge doesn't mean that you approve of. So what I'm saying by that is saying, okay, you can acknowledge that maybe, okay, maybe I'm not an 8, 9, 10. And there was a video I was watching one time and it blew me because this lady was on there and she was saying, well, a female asked the question to another female. And the female who answered, she says, well, I'm a 10. And she just looked at her for a second and said,
right.
What makes you a 10? She had no answer. Right? You just saying you're the top of the barrel, but what gives you the space for that? Like where does that come from? And I think that's the part, right? That's the piece that I don't think is healthy. If you're going to put yourself in a space, my nephew wants to box. It's one thing for you to say, yeah, I'm really interested in becoming this and I'm willing to put the work in to get there.
Right.
Because this is what I see myself going. That's one thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's another thing for you to sit around here and tell people I'm a boxer, but you don't box.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So that's the delusion, because unfortunately what you're doing is, if you're saying that and you're not putting in the effort behind it,
Mm-hmm.
then what you're doing is you're creating a standard that's unrealistic. And that standard is not even going to be supported. So there's nothing in your life that's going to be able to reflect what it is that you're talking about. Because again, in order for you to really be that, you've got to own that lane.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to this dating space, and then who am I? What do I have to offer? What do I bring? Where are my areas of opportunity? I think we have to be willing to address that. I have to be willing to address that.
And
Listen,
be transparent.
hey, it is what it is. I'm not that. Okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And if it came between me and Idris, I'm likely to lose out to this nigga.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
It's for
Regardless if I think I'm right, regardless of what you think.
right, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
So putting myself in the space to say, well, I don't know. I guess I just don't agree with that. I just don't agree with that notion, and I'm okay with that. And I think that's the thing, is like, people just sometimes they get so wrapped up. It's like, I've got to be X, Y, and Z, but why?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you put yourself in those spaces, then your expectation is going to be according to that, and I just don't think that that's realistic.
That you gotta be what, like a 10?
Yeah.
Why do you feel like the need that, why can't you, do you really believe you're a 10? Because there's gonna be people here that say, I'm a 10, I'm a 9, I'm a 10. And I mean, I don't, again, to your point, I don't think it's anything wrong for you to believe that. I mean, listen, when it comes to identity and how you identify, that is a big thing. That is an important thing in reference to how you move forward, and growing your personal development, right?
Mhm.
So I do feel like for your conscious to believe things, your subconscious has to believe it first. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta like feed yourself this shit for real, but you have to really believe it honestly and feel it. It can't just be words, but that means you got to put the work in, like you said, to get there. So without putting the work in to be a 9 or 10, and you just yelling, I'm a 9 or 10, but don't shit say that. Don't nothing say it about
Nothing say it.
your attitude is bad. Your company you keep is below average. Everything about you says below average, but you yelling 9 or 10. Well, I mean, you could do that, but again, this delusional, and then you wonder why you can't meet nobody and why I'm single. Okay, because you 51.
Because maybe too, because the people that you meet, because you're saying one thing, you've made this standards wherever it's at, that the people that are you're meeting are actually probably on the same level as you are.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't typically attract opposites. I don't believe in that. I believe we do attract likeness.
Mm-hmm.
So if you and I was thinking about what Leslie was saying. It's funny because I said, well, it honestly, like, if you're attracting men that are fixing niggas, that's because of you,
Oh, you okay? She said,
right?
"Yeah, fix it." She's attractive, fix it, and that's what she's
Yeah.
frustrated about.
She's
Yeah.
frustrated because she's got to fix these scenarios. Well, you have a savior complex. That's what draws you in, is where you can come in because you feel like that's what gives you worth. But the problem is that she's fixing niggas, and then these niggas now act like they're better than her, and then they want to move off and do their own thing. Well,
Mm-hmm.
and again, I'm going on a ledge here, but I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's probably what goes on
Why
with that.
she's bitter?
Why that? Yeah, where that energy
Sounds
comes
bitter.
from.
I don't know, or angry. I don't know unless that's just her. It might could just be her personality, but
Yeah, she's strong and aggressive, but I've seen her in other lights too, I'm not familiar with that interview, but I saw her talk about this dating shit in another scenario,
mm-hmm.
and I got a lot of insight into kind of what her experience is. So anyway, I say all that to say,
Mm-hmm.
we've got to be willing to do that work there too, right? So
Yeah,
again,
I
if
agree with
I'm
you.
attracting a certain type, I've got to be willing to acknowledge, okay, I'm attracting that because of me. It's not because I have a sign on my forehead. It's not because of any of this other shit. It's because of me.
Mm-hmm.
So it behooves me, right, to do the work that's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
To either get that out of the scenario, lean more into it, or do whatever the fuck it is you're gonna do, but to ignore the motherfucker ain't gonna fix it.
Right. And just complain about it. I want to I have this video, another video. It's a panel of black men, 5 men, 50 and up. 2 of them are married, 3 of them are single. And I want to know your thoughts. Well, just general. I want to listen to it, but I feel like get a perspective of, because the reality is, listen, like I said before, I'm not single, but I could be one day for any reason, right? I could be in my 50s or up and be single again, right? And I'm the first one quick to say I can't see myself dating again. I can't see myself getting married again because of A, B, and C. I got all these reasons as to why I wouldn't want to put in no work that it takes to date, right? Easy to say now because I have somebody. Who knows? So I was watching a little bit of this video I'm about to share, and I was like, oh man, damn. Light bulb. Like, okay, what do I have to offer a motherfucker? I'm so busy worried about, you know what I'm saying? And does that mean I feel less than? No. But I'm hearing these niggas talk like, okay, well, I guess I could do some work in that area. Oh man, okay, I guess I could do a little work there too. So it could be an eye opener that sometimes, again, check the delusion at the door, and you might have to do some work. And in working on yourself is going to take patience. But anyway, let me share this. Unless there was something you wanted to share. Is it something you want to share?
No.
Okay. Okay, let me show you this. All right, I'll go back right here.
We done had this question come up 1,000 times with females, so we said we was gonna put it on the table and tell you exactly what we're looking for. So, Doc, tell me what's up.
Oh, I got to start.
Yeah. I'm throwing you in the fire.
Oh, well, I had been married for a number of years, and I had never really thought about that not working out. But when it didn't, I was confronted with this thing like, shit, I'm 50 years old, and I'm thinking that's got to be the worst time to be dating. And then I ran into this dude named Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels changed my life. Well, and he gave me perspective, just watching some of the videos about the difference, the differences in value that you bring to the relationship. And I was like, man, I'm 50 years old, so I'm more mature. I mean, you can just see this, that I'm fine. So, oh, you need a second? Hold up. I'll throw them up again for you. I'm being physically fit. My name is Dr. Richard Montgomery. So I got a PhD. I got the highest level of education you can get. I got a 6-figure salary. I am a high value dude. And I was thinking, okay, maybe dating after 50 won't be bad, but it was interesting that dating at, my 20-year-old self dates differently than my 50-year-old self. Because my 20-year-old self only cared about how fine you was and what type of acrobatics you might be able to do.
There you go.
My 50-year-old self want to know what you got on your W-2. Okay? No, for real. So dating after 50 for me, I'm going to eventually settle down. I found a nice girl that I've been dating. But, settling down.
Oh, damn. Come on now. Don't do all that shit. Get to the point.
Wow. Bae's name is Pam. Bae's name is Pam. Long as Bae keep acting right, Bae be long. Hey man, I ain't know. See, that's the other part. Dating after 50, you ain't got no time to be out here being a player. I got professional business to get to. I don't have time to be out here, juggling multiple girls. So priority, if you want to date a dude after 50, he's probably gonna be more faithful than the 30-year-old version. But The other part for me was, if I'm gonna date somebody, she's got to be a financial match to me. I'm first generation college student. Part of my obligation for me is to do better than my parents did. I think I've done so far, but I want to build with somebody, and building doesn't mean I'm gonna be taking care of you. And I get in trouble all the time. I don't want no chick I gotta take care of. You need a little help. I don't slight you for needing help, because I think there's a lot of people in that situation, but that ain't my life. And there's
Okay.
Talk to me.
Yeah.
Because that's where I was like, ooh, I read it because I want help. I want to. Wait, that's where I start thinking, keep it
So,
up.
I need to do some work right here.
Wait a minute, hold up.
Yeah. Okay, so let me say this. That's his feelings on that. And and that could be colored by his long-term relationship that ended in a divorce or transitioned into divorce. And so maybe that plays a role. So yeah, I can't say too much about that for me personally. I will say though, yeah, it's just a lot of with what you're looking for. Okay, so let me say it like this. I say it like this, and it's the safest way I could say it. If I'm married and if men are married and or single and dating in their older years, it doesn't make sense to me that he's ultimately at that point looking for somebody that can match his energy, right? Because what did he say? He says, "Man, I'm a first generation college student. I got the greatest degree or the highest level degree that I could get. I make six figures,
Yeah.
right?"
And his friend was kind of looking at him like, nigga, what?
And I'm like 6 foot or something. He said so.
Yeah.
So he says this, and he says, "I'm looking for somebody. I don't want to take care of somebody." Well, here's the interesting part about that, though, and I don't think that makes a lot of sense when you consider that at your age, if you are dating in your age range,
Okay.
right, then you're not likely to meet somebody who's that interested, who you're going to ultimately connect with to match the needs that you have if they're matching the same energy. I think the older we get, this is what you start to realize, is that I don't need my energy. I need the opposite of me. Right? I need the other end of the spectrum. I don't need the exact same thing that I am. When you're younger, you look at things differently though. You typically do. As men, we typically look at it a little bit differently. What I'm attracted to, what I'm interested in is different. The older we get, because mortality is starting to set in, right? I'm not invincible. You're not looking for somebody that's going to be able to. And I think for me, I would say, bro, like I'm making the money. I don't care about you making no fucking money. Can we manage what the fuck I make?
So he's looking for something. Susan said they're looking for a maid at that age.
Who's that? Susan?
Susan.
Susan, you wildin'.
Okay, let me read some more and see what else he gonna say. I don't know, but I hear you though. Yeah, I don't know. I was like, but I mean, that again, like you said, that's his right to if that's what he's looking for. But what's the likelihood? And you know what kind of made me a little uncomfortable with him, and we're still talking about it. I mean, we're still watching it, of course, but I'm okay with you knowing your worth, right? But everything he named was superficial.
Super fucking fish.
Everything he named was superficial. Yeah. It's like, man, come on, you can go a little deeper than that, can't you? But okay, well, you stay right there where you at. You know what I'm saying? With your hat to the back, nigga.
a lot of girls that, don't want my help, live independently, and make good money too. And they tend to have the kind of attraction that I'm looking for after 50. Okay. And fine ain't always the prerequisite.
Yeah, that's for sure. Sir, tell me what's up.
For me?
Yeah,
I don't know. Can't be a breeder.
Okay.
Can't be a breeder?
Break that down for those that don't know what you're talking about.
Breeder means that I'm 50. I'm over 50. I don't want a female physically or mentally to still have a child.
Oh, I still want kids.
That's you. Okay. That's you, but that's not me.
I mean,
my daughter be 24 tomorrow and my son be 20. I'm not trying to start over.
Right.
Okay. Now, if I was still, that would be a different thing. But right now, no, I'm good. I'm good.
What you gonna be doing when you're 70?
When I'm cutting grass, raking leaves, I don't know. Welcome to Walmart.
Well, let me just say that, me thinking about having more kids.
Wait a minute. What you gonna be doing when you're 70? You want?
Hopefully going to high school football games looking at my boy. Or no. Look, Richard, we won't be Richard the Fourth, but little Richie's brother.
You gonna be out there on the field playing with him, running up and down?
You see what kind of shape I'm in?
Look at they rolling their eyes like, oh God.
He is milking this.
Right.
So,
he gonna be in diapers. The baby
He gonna be in diapers. The baby gonna be in diapers.
Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, bro.
but you know what? I say that because when I've also looked at people who retired and just sort of kind of live that 50 to 70 life, their life be boring as hell. They do all this traveling here and there, and then they get tired of that. Then they start doing the same routine all over again. Kids make you young.
Kids where you at.
It's a matter of like now being 50, like me being out on the date scene now. It's just like really weird because back then it was like, she beautiful, she cute, she got the shape. I want this. I want to build a family. Now it's like I need a partner.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We coming in this not 60-30. We coming in there together. We are partnership. So
yeah,
I want this to last. I want this to make this. I'm not just dating to be out here.
Mm-hmm.
We got this partnership. So if we both come in here and say we got this partnership, we want our partnership. We want this business to grow.
Okay.
So if I come in at 50, you come in at 30, you only 30% invested. So if it don't work out for you, you just only lost 30.
Okay.
I got 50 invested, so I'm losing.
Yeah.
And we all as Collins, you always say you a numbers man. 50-50, that's a loss. That's a failure on any test we ever took.
Okay.
Being 50-50.
Okay.
If we ain't 95, I don't want it.
Okay.
Good luck.
So who did 95? You or her?
Us. Us.
Both giving 95%. Is that what you're saying?
95% of what I want and what I need in her.
Colin said that math.
Vice versa.
Yeah. I mean, because I'm gonna need you to get your math together. First, I said 60-30.
I'm like 180.
Right. Divide the two, subtract the one.
Carry the 3.
Right. But
one.
But so Eric and I are both married. You know what I'm saying? So, for us, conversation a little bit different. Yeah, that's right.
I got my ring on.
Exactly. So
draw attention to it.
man, well, listen, that's okay. That's okay. Listen, I'm going on 30 years, brother. So for me,
I applaud you, bro.
Yeah.
Hold up. That's a testament.
When you get parole.
I applaud you. And I applaud you 30 years, bro. That's a great thing. I'm trying to get 30 months in.
Yeah. But so here's the thing, y'all. Everything is in kind of, we talk about this stages and phases, right? That's just life. That's just life. And so what happens, you all, oftentimes, and so I'm gonna speak from a married lens, right? So for me, I'm not looking for anyone. But I think with my wife and I, we got together, man, I'm 54, so we were about 21, 22 when we got together, right? It is. It's a deep commitment. And so I'm sure she felt just like I felt. And why my ring starts sliding off when I start having this conversation? That's because I'm losing weight too, right?
Right.
But yeah. Okay. But so I'm sure, she's had to say, you know what, at sometimes she wasn't happy. I've had to say it sometimes I wasn't happy. But you got to remember, marriage isn't about being happy.
Marriage is about two people coming together, making a commitment, a lifelong commitment, adhering to their vows, understanding that, listen, we're going to have some good days, going to have some bad days. But at the end of the day, I've made a commitment and I know that I can't and I don't want to live my life without her. You know what I'm saying?
Wow,
I just don't want to. And I think she has said the same thing. I can't see my life without him. And so when you get to that point, you know, because see, even if you were dating, if I was dating, I'm looking for someone who I can actually say, I want to spend the rest of my life with. I can't see my life being well without you. You know what I'm saying?
What does that look like? Like, what is the criteria for that?
That's deep though.
Means I don't give up, period.
You looking at I don't want to spend the rest of my life without you.
Bruh, I do not want to spend the rest of my life without my wife. I just don't.
What is hard for them to understand with that? I'm confused. I noticed that it freezes me too when I play the video. I'm frozen. I'm not moving. But
Yeah.
what is hard for him to grasp? I don't know if they're just being silly.
Yeah, but you got to remember though, some of those guys are single too, and they may have been married, they may not have. I don't know everybody's story, but yeah, I can. It's like, you know, I thought I wanted that until, you know, whatever happened or whatever case may be. I don't know.
Until you didn't.
Yeah. So, but you know, all in all, in this conversation, I think what comes to light is there's so many layers to it, right? And just like in your title, as far as what's wrong with me, I would honestly say that we have to be willing to call the spade a spade. You got to be willing to acknowledge whatever it is in your circumference, right? If you don't like, I was talking about this commitment to, you know, me working out now and all this other shit that I'm doing. There has to be a commitment to that journey from me.
A commitment to the journey.
Yeah, it's a commitment to the journey from me, and it's not about anyone else. It's not about what she's gonna say, what they gonna say, what them over there gonna look like. I'm not as concerned about that. I'm committed to this journey for myself. In order for me to commit to something, I had to acknowledge that at that time I was not where I wanted to be at.
So if we're talking about dating, we're saying committing to the dating journey. Is that what you're saying?
Well, committing to the self journey, right? So if dating is something that I want to be, I've got to be willing to acknowledge where I'm currently at. If I don't like this space that I'm in, if I don't like the type of men that or the women that I'm dealing with, if I don't like the type ones that I'm attracting, whatever the fuck the case may be, right? I've got to lean into this, which means I can't just push it under the rug.
Why am I attracting this type of person? Because I want to make sure that what people are hearing is specifically we're talking about being a person, and this is seriously talking about being a person who wants a relationship. You want to be in love, you want to be married, you want to be in a relationship, and it's not happening for you. And so when you say committing to the journey, speak to it in that sense for someone who's feeling just how I just said when it comes to their love life and what they're looking for, and they fucking can't find it. They keep because I look at it like this for me, and I'm gonna have you answer that. If I was looking for a relationship, I feel like I'm a good catch. Okay. I realize that I am not there's areas of improvement for myself, right?
Mhm.
But I acknowledge who I am and flip my ass inside out if that's what the fuck you got to do. Okay? But my shit is golden. Okay? Period. Now, we talked about this, nigga. Hi, Cheapo. We talked about this.
What's good?
Now listen.
Okay.
But I've got to know that at the same time, I'm aware, and I don't know how to play, like you said, without downplaying myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect to pull this 10 nigga. I really don't. I mean, from the outside. I'm talking about from the outside. I'm gonna have to give in somewhere. That's the reality. So I feel like for me, if I was dating, I would know the things that I am not willing to tolerate. That's the list I would start with. I would start with what my deal breakers are. I'm not gonna do A, B, and C. This is if you right off rip, if you fall into category 1 or 2, I'm not gonna even go down that road.
But that's where I think we
I don't know
lose
what to
it.
do because I
I
don't want to
think
waste my time.
I think we lose there.
Listen.
Here's a good one. And we were
Okay.
talking about this before.
Okay.
Take the storyline where some
We're
of these
talking
niggas
about
that
dating cheapo. I mean, kinda, I guess. I think we are.
you got let's say you have men who are in prison, right?
Okay.
That's a deal breaker, right? But
Okay.
these niggas is finding women, right? There's women that are in there finding dudes. A matter of fact, I seen one where a girl was talking about how many dudes be trying to holler at her, and so she was milking them, and then she found some dude who she liked or whatever the case may be, and he was an attorney and blah 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 blah. One thing led to the next, right? Was same thing story with your boy that I was talking about who he's in jail. Some lady, she's trying to help him get out. They fall in love in the process. He gets out and then boom, they together.
Mm-hmm.
I say all that to say too many times I think we have these lists.
Okay.
And I think those lists are actually betraying us more often than not. I honestly do. When I think about the things that I have specifically prayed for in life, and I think about how many things came the way that I prayed for it, and I think about the things that didn't show up that I prayed for. And when they didn't show up, I honestly can sit back and say, "Oh my God, I had no idea what I was asking for."
Mm-hmm.
Right? At the same time, this is where I think sometimes these lists are really damaging, right? And then the circles that we have around us that we measure these people by, right? We have people in our circle, and so when we want to vet somebody, right, we bring them to this circle, and then we're getting the feedback from the circle. What do we think? What should I think, or what do you guys think about this individual? I think shit like that, those lists and not vetting your circles well enough, I think all of that's playing against us. To where we're choosing the opposite direction, we're choosing away from promise, or we're choosing away from the things that God could ultimately be there saying, hey, this is the person you've been asking for. Now, at the same time, here's the part that I do say too. We don't attract opposites. I don't believe that. I believe we attract what we are. So if I don't like what I'm attracting, it's something that I need to really work on in here.
So I don't like what I'm attracting. Okay, so
Yeah. If I don't like what I'm attracting, it's like when you go fishing, nigga. If I'm using pungent ass bait and I'm getting bottom feeders, nigga, that's what they fucking like.
Right. Okay.
That's
Well, okay. So this is my thing. I'm looking at it like, okay, if I'm in the dating pool, listen, hey, if I have a preference, and it is like my friend said, some people's expectations, your expectations are off. So you don't have somebody because you fucking your shit is unrealistic. What you're looking for is unrealistic. But let me say this, my thing is this. There's certain things I just not gonna tolerate. And that somebody else may have their own thing.
okay.
Call it a list, call it what you want, but I couldn't see myself um dating a man at my age. I think I'm just gonna throw something out there, right? With who I am, my circumstances. Let me think. Um, what would be a deal breaker for me?
That's what I want to find out. So,
A
what are some?
deal breaker. A deal breaker for me would be I think a deal breaker for me would be golly.
His height. Go ahead, say his height.
Well,
He can't be he can't be shorter than you. Go ahead, say that.
well, damn, yeah, okay, that's a given.
Okay, but is your son shorter than
Wait,
you?
wait. Thank you, T. Well, look at Cheapo. What she say? I have a preference. They ain't messing with my fat ass right now. Wait, I have a preference. Okay, hold on. A person that can't hold an intellectual conversation. Okay, that's a good one. But that's a good deal breaker. Okay, conversation is a deal breaker. But I was thinking more. I'm thinking like that would be a deal breaker for me too. Like, okay, a deal breaker for me would be I want to say no job. But let me say this though. I don't want to just say no job. I think what I mean is stability, financial stability, and that's because I don't have it. Listen,
Do you see?
listen.
Do you see?
Wait,
Do you see what? See,
Mrs.
Chipo then came into the chat.
Cheapo, you said that's your deal breaker. That's your physical deal breaker. Wait,
That's what she said.
Cheapo, you're missing a side tooth, or they
No,
missing?
they are. She said a nigga who can't keep up a good conversation and missing a side tooth. She said
So
this.
she's good. She picked up a physical trait and a and a
An intellectual one.
intellectual trait. Yeah. Okay. I
So,
mean, I'm with it. Okay. Listen, I'm just saying we got. All I'm saying is everybody has their own deal breaker.
how
But
about this?
I don't know. I think.
So recently, I did this piece on gratitude, right?
Yeah.
And there's a little a snippet that's on the page, but that actually came from like a 10-minute, 15-minute little piece that I was doing about the totality of what this thought process was for me, right?
Uh-huh.
But here's what I was wondering, and y'all got to follow me on this one, just for
She
a
both said,
brief.
"What's yours?" But go ahead. Your deal breakers.
Uh, I'll actually share that, but here's what I'm actually getting to more so than what a deal breaker is. It's what are my deal makers. Here's why I say that. When I was talking about this concept of gratitude, one of the statements that came to me was there's a way in which I can influence the things that are in my life, right? And the things that are in my life to reflect what puts a smile on my face, to reflect the things that I am grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
When I started thinking about the concept, then it started to snowball, because in the midst of that thought process was, well, I do know that there's life and death is in the power of the tongue. I do understand that metaphysically we create a lot of shit around us. I also know that from a psychological standpoint, typically when we have whatever types of friction or whatever types of issues we usually have between people, right? It becomes a microcosm of what's going on internally, right? So now I have all these role pieces that are leading me back to these understandings that there are things that are internal that are manifesting externally, right? That I'm seeing this. If I am a pessimistic motherfucker, then I'm going to see pessimistic shit in life. It's just what it is. I'm not going to see things to be grateful for. I'm not going to see things to smile about because internally I'm in agony or I'm in turmoil. So I'm going to see turmoil. So I say all that to say this. So what if, because I'm putting so much effort and power into what I don't want, what if the universe doesn't respond to us like that? What if the universe responds to what you put energy into? So when you're putting energy into all the shit that you say you don't want, but it's not biased. So what the universe is, it's almost like it's paused, right? Because it needs the currency to move. What if the universal currency or the God currency is gratitude? So what if I flip that list and say, instead of my deal breaker, what are my deal makers? So what things do I really admire about people? I love how I love how the simplest things make them smile. I love how it could be how you know a smell that I smell, and and it takes me to a very a cool ass a dope space, or it could be something as simple as um a tone, inflection. It's very simple. But what I'm saying is I'm looking at all the things that I'm extremely grateful for, right? The things that make, and so in this piece about gratitude, I was saying, man, I started to notice, whether it be someone's kind gesture at the register, or someone let me over in traffic and I nodded at them. And then in that moment, I'm saying, God, I really appreciate that. They didn't have to do that, but I'm appreciative of them doing that. And what I ultimately am starting to do is I'm starting to put out in the atmosphere, put out in the universe, this is the shit that I want around me. So now I say all that to say, like, so what if, right? What if that's what it is? So for me, if you ask me what my deal breakers, I don't have them. I'm not even going to worry about that. But here's what I do like. I love people that have personality. I love people that are learning how to be comfortable in their own skin. That shit, I'm inspired by that. I'm inspired by people who are willing to be vulnerable and accept who I am and what I am. I'm not as concerned about, yeah, of course, there's things I want to get to, there's things I want to be, or there's images or stuff that I'm working towards, right? But it doesn't mean that I despise the person that I am. I don't, right? I'm proud of me. The one thing I've learned about people is that I can't give you something that I don't internalize, that I don't have in my possession. So if I am, again, and I say this, but please don't let it go over your head in any way. I cannot give love if I don't internalize what love is. And so my idea of the things that I've allowed people to do, the things I've allowed to be around me at different times, those are things that I did that I really had to own that shit for whatever reason at that time. But I'm learning that why not spend my time on focusing on the things that I do love about people, circumstances, things. I think in that little statement, that little snippet piece, I said something like, having the audacity to think that these things were put here for me. Absolutely, they are. They definitely are. So then you start to find you have more reasons to be grateful. And I say this I believe it flows over into my interactions with people, as evidenced by when I look at the quality of the people that are in my life now. Fucking, they dope. Like, and I've never had a circle like this. Now, I've also never been this version of me that's qualified for that circle, right? Because that circle is a reflection of me too. So anyway, I can't see all this because I don't even have my glasses on. But I was just wondering. So to answer the question, and if there's anything else, please bring it back to my attention. But to answer the question though, yeah, I don't have deal breakers. I'm kind of over that shit. I have deal makers. I think there are things that I am inspired by. There's things that I absolutely adore. There's things that get my blood boiling in a good way, right? Those things, and I've seen them in a variety of people, in a variety of different things, like little pieces here, and that piece about being comfortable in your skin. That's one of the things I think is so attractive about older women and dealing with older women, because older women get to a point where them motherfuckers don't give a fuck. Hey, it is what it is. Watch me do what it do, though. I absolutely love that, and it's just like it's it's a sense of peace in that. So anyway, I say all that to say, yeah, it's just yeah, I don't know.
So let me respond to a few things. So first thing is cheapo, behave, period. Hard stop. Now down to Shan. Okay, Shan, I want to, because I know your statement is in reference to what I said about and this could be for anything, but to apply it to what I said when I said about
I need
wanting a
help.
man who's financially sound, because I'm not. Okay. So in all fairness, is it fair to have deal breakers in areas where we don't even meet those requirements? I'll answer that quickly. Life isn't fair. Fuck fair. Okay. Moving to your next question. Now the next one.
I don't think that's fair though. I
Okay.
don't.
Okay.
I don't
Fine.
think that's fair.
She's not asking you. I think she might be asking both of us. She didn't specify who she's asking.
But I'm the co-host, so
Okay.
it's just
He doesn't think it's fair. Okay, let me finish. All right. Fuck it. Now. No. I mean, is it fair? I don't know. No, maybe it's not. But do I still feel that way? The answer is yes, I do. But let me tell you what my opportunity for growth is. When I saw that little snippet, what I was showing you before with the guys, and he was talking, and I said I was watching it like I got shit to work on. This was part of that. What, into all fairness to your point, because I was over here thinking like, bitch, you need to get some shit together on your end, because if some shit go down, you not ready. You're not ready because you want a whole bunch of shit and you got shit you ain't doing. Okay, so to your point, that's where I was. Next thing is my sister said, your deal breaker.
You moving kind of quick, ain't you?
Yeah, because you talk a lot. I'm trying to get to the point. Okay. Look, my sister said, your deal breaker is definitely if he's not attentive to your needs. She knows me very, very well. I think Jason would agree with that. That would be a deal breaker for me. I'm fairly, what you think I'm needy, Jason? Yes. Emotional. I am needy. Okay. I'm needy. I like attention. I need it. Okay. Now, moving on. So here we go. What? What? Am I missing it? I'm missing it. Okay.
No, I'm just thinking if a nigga was like, so how do I, nigga, you just got to get this nigga room. You just got to get that nigga some room. She gonna bounce around. Let her bounce, nigga. Let her bounce.
Let her bounce.
Stay in the pocket.
Not him asking you, what should I do? Be like, nigga, just back up. Let her do whatever she gonna do.
Let her bounce. She gonna come right back. She gonna come back. She gonna come. Trust. She gonna come back. Just let her bounce.
We call her Tigger. She just gonna do it. All right.
No, so
boom. That's how I feel about it. Okay, well, one more thing I want to say. She's okay, because then she said, because that's a part of the delusion. Why require someone to have a particular thing, but we don't have that thing ourselves? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
You do.
I do.
Now, here's the thing, though.
Mm-hmm.
When I think in the same breath as that statement, right? The other part of that, though, is when this is what I mean by there are ways and tangible ways that I can do to go about improving my stock, right? And I use that term stock, which means what makes me attractive to the opposite sex.
Mm-hmm.
What the opposite sex finds value in, and so then I'm now a part of that pool that they are choosing, or I'm a part of this little space, right? Because again, I'm appealing to them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think though you have to do that part that she just mentioned here, which is the acknowledgement. Okay, it's not fair for me to sit here and want somebody who is something that is totally opposite
Mm-hmm.
for me, that I'm choosing to be loose over here while
Mm-hmm.
they're stronger there, right? Because
Right.
now what we're ultimately doing is we're creating an imbalance.
Mm-hmm.
What I think is also dope though is to say, okay, I do admire men who are disciplined, or the person, right? I admire their discipline because these are the areas of opportunity for me. I can learn how to be like that. I can learn how to improve in those areas, right? Because and what you're doing in yourself, right, is you're now building your own value up. So because you're willing to acknowledge, okay, this is my area of opportunity,
Yeah.
this is where I want to become stronger and I want to become
But
better.
you have to do the work.
You
You
got to do
can't
the
just
work.
sit there and look at it
Yeah,
and not put the work in.
like if I have a if I'm a loose cannon and she's stable emotionally, and I'm over here, I'm emotionally a fucking wreck, right? Well, what we're doing is we're creating an imbalance. That's not the opposite, or thing that's attracting, right? We're creating an imbalance because for all of her, and the only way for us to have anything productive is for her to be one way and for me to just be over here. Well, that's problematic though,
Yeah.
because eventually she's going to get tired of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because your lack of emotional maturity is a problem,
Mm-hmm.
because now we're not even able to support each other. It just becomes me now, Leslie Jones. I'm now raising another grown person,
Mm-hmm.
which
And let me
nobody
say this,
offered.
because this is another thing. I have this highlight because I didn't read it yet. Let me read it really quick, but I don't want to get sidetracked. But hold on. When I think about, even with my husband, one thing that we always say is, where he's weak, I'm strong, and vice versa. And we've always said that we feel like that's what our one of our strengths are as a couple.
Mhm.
Okay, is that we balance each other out in that way. Literally, if you know us and you know intimately, you know where he's strong, I'm weak, and where I'm weak, he's strong. Wait, something like that. Bottom line is, but that's not the ultimate goal, though.
Mhm.
That is not the ultimate goal. You got to go to the next level. Yeah, that works. It makes sense. But the truth is that we've been together long enough for it to be a reflection on each other, to
Mhm.
know where our opportunities are. So at this point, we know where our areas of opportunity are. It is up to each of us to do the work in those areas in which we know that we are weak,
Come
and
on.
become stronger, because there may be a time, God forbid, where you're going to have to step up in your what was your weak area,
Come on.
and now be strong for the both of you in this season. And if you have not learned that in the time that God has provided you the opportunity to grow, you've chosen not to grow but to get stuck, you're fucked.
Mm. Come on.
Good night. We're
Come
ending the
on.
live now. Everybody,
No,
good night.
listen,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
listen.
I'm just kidding. I'll have to go listen at that
Said
again. I'm
in this
looking at the green
in
light
this
on the.
season. Yeah, come on, teach. Yes, you speaking.
Yeah.
You speaking because I think that's sexy. It's I think it's sexy to say,
He's not
man,
calling me
I
sexy,
I
guys.
can.
Let's be clear. Go ahead. He's talking about the concept, thinking wise. Cheapo, are you still here? I'll tell him you text that to me.
First of all,
Cheapo.
who would think that I said anything
I
different?
don't know. I said something
I
profound,
said
and then you said I
that.
find that sexy. I
I
want to
said
be clear.
that's
Oh.
is do we refer to people as that's?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
He
Okay,
heard
let's
them.
talk
Is
about
that a pronoun? Is that a pronoun?
Don't ask. Don't start getting technical now. I'm not grammatically. It's not my strong area. Grammatics.
So
Okay, go ahead.
no, but that is, and I think it's sexy to say, man, I can learn from you,
Yeah.
right?
Keep
And
talking.
in your strength, in seeing your strength, it's not enough to just see it, right? It's that, man, I want to, because typically what we admire is a reflection of who we are anyway. It's something, there's a value that we see to that. And I think it's important to notice that about ourselves in this journey anyway. Because if I look at anything that I've typically admired, anything I've typically appreciated, yeah, it's a reflection. Just like the things that I despise in life, it's also a reflection. I know people don't want to hear that, but when you can say what you vehemently hate or despise, I can assure you it is inside of you, because that's what's giving you the impetus behind it, or that's where the drive, that's where the essence comes from. Now, for me, that sent me on a journey to really start getting rid of a lot of shit, getting rid of a lot of those spaces that I used to harbor and I used to hold on to those things, because there's no room for that out here. There's no room for that in this space of creativity. It does me no good to have that as a part of my being. Nah, it does me no good. So I absolutely appreciate that statement. I think it is such a hidden gem that's not talked about enough. But yes, there may come a point where you have to stand up in what was used to be your weakness, but is no longer. And I think that's where the two can join and become one type shit. I think that's what that means.
Yeah.
That's where you're on that, when you're tracking there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I love all of that though, man. And thank you guys for sharing and
Yeah,
tapping
thank
in
you
and
guys so much for tapping in tonight with us. And when you can make it, and Shan, it's so good to see you. It's been so long. A happy new year to you. Cheapo, happy new year to you.
yeah.
I enjoy the engagement and conversation. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what this is for us every week. They're conversations, and we could talk. Jason and I could talk about just about anything. I mean, for the most part, me anyway. I don't know. I might need a little guidance, but for the most part, we can get it. We just love to politic, as he would say, and so in doing that, we all hope to learn something new and just walk away with a little something, that we can learn from. My dog wants to go out. But Jason, is there anything else before we go?
No. Let me say this in closing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say this in closing, and I'll just kind of reiterate that piece. What if? What if? What if I spend more time thinking, meditating, talking about and emotionally interacting with the things that I actually love, the things that actually speak to me. What if I do that more than my interaction with the things that I do not like?
Mm-hmm.
The effort, the energy behind describing it, the efforts and energy that I spend dissecting it, all of that is all fear activity. And that fear activity is what causes me to spend that time dissecting and building walls for all these things that I am afraid of or things that can harm me. But if
Mm-hmm.
I spend more time
Diva.
focusing there, right,
Mm-hmm.
I could be missing the opportunities that are sitting right here in front of me. So on the flip side of that, and and I'm speaking from a metaphysical space as well, right? And I'm speaking from this space that the universe, creation, creativity, God, not biased, no respecter of person in this respect, so but responds to where your energy is. So what if I put my energies into the things that make me smile? What if that's the key to creating the world that I want to see? And ultimately, what if that's the key to being the person that I'm destined to be? I don't know, but I think it's worth looking into.
Mm-hmm. Yes, truth and vulnerability is not weakness. So she and I had this conversation, and I could not. I mean, she was trying her best to get me to could grasp a concept, and then I would say something, and I got it. One minute I felt like I had it, and the next minute I felt like I didn't. But I kept associating vulnerability with being weak, and that doesn't she was saying that's not. She
No,
didn't understand why my brain was putting those two together, and my brain was just looking at vulnerability as a weakness, and she's saying it's not. I mean,
I'm
we were
curious to know.
trying to get that through to me. What do you? I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm curious to know how her brain didn't connect that because most
it's
people do.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
because I was like, well, what do you mean? And I don't want to go because I don't know. I think she was just trying to remind me, but I can't. This could be a whole conversation, truth by itself. I don't know why you would say that on our way out. I don't know why you would do that because then I'm back to where we were at, like vulnerability.
listen,
But
vulnerability. That statement right there,
mhm.
that right there, changed my life. I am a different person because of a journey that I had with the term vulnerability. I am 1,000% different because of that. And I can remember from point A to where I'm at now, how that right there, that term,
By being vulnerable.
that fucking term, and coming to the realization that vulnerability is not a weakness. It's actually power under control. But
Okay.
it gets real. And I'll say this for
Power
anybody
under
out there. if
control.
if
Oh,
you if you are interested in reading or getting into some stuff, Dr. Brene Brown talks a lot about this. And she was the person that I heard a TED talk, and that shit changed my life. From that point, I started down this thing of looking into this more, and it blew me. I will forever remember that moment.
Zuda.
Um,
Hi, Zuda. Mm-hmm.
what's good, fam? So yeah, Dr. Brene Brown,
So
her work on
vulnerability is power
yes,
under control. Man, my God. Because so most people look at vulnerability as a weakness. So you can understand where I got it from.
yeah.
But
Most
the
people,
reality is it's not. It's power under control. So yeah, I will yeah. That's a conversation on by itself. My God. Because I'm looking at being vulnerable as being susceptible to shit,
and
like
cowering.
exposed, you
mm,
know. But she's looking at being. Are you looking at like being
that's
exposed
what
as
she's.
being free, right? Or
Well,
being
if you
being
look at it, even from a scriptural standpoint, you remember when it said that the people were in the garden and it said they were naked and unafraid and unashamed, right? Yeah, that's it. That's it. There is no why do I allow this fear to just step in here, right? The power under control is a piece that I apply to that. And so there's a way in which I'm looking at this that shows that it's actually where your power is at, it resides at. Is in that, because in my vulnerability, in whatever that is, right? However that looks, people associate that with emotional weakness. It's not. It has nothing to do with that.
You know what it reminded me of when you just said that? Like my Josh, my son, when he clowns, he took and he said this. He would take the thing that when he was younger, and I think he does it now too, but the thing that people will use against you, he uses it as leverage or power. So he takes their power away from them, and then they don't have any ammunition because he destroyed it already. So it's like I guess that's a form of he'll take that vulnerability because that's a power move. I'm taking the power away from this person who's trying to use my, what do you call them, shortcuts against me, and I'm empowering myself and taking the power away from them, and now they can't use it.
Yeah, they can't.
And I'm blowing it up before they even get a chance.
Yeah, it's just
Strong
like
young man. You know who this is, Zuda? This is my cousin I was telling you about. I don't know if you know that. I told him I was going to share your page with him about the Black Rodeo in Texas. He's into that shit. He's into that.
In a real way. I almost wore my cowboy hat tonight while you bullshit.
Dude, he love that shit. And all them weapons and all that shit you got going on, cars, all that shit. You niggas is on the same page. But anyway, all right, y'all. It's getting late. We love y'all. Thank you so much for coming. If you didn't see it from the beginning, just tune in to the show in the beginning, and we'll be back next week. I think. Jason will be out of town, but we'll let y'all know. Oh, I'm in office next week, so we may not be here next week. Probably the week after.
Okay.
All right, Cuzzo, love you.
All right, love you too, man. Thank y'all for signing in.
Have a good rest of your week.
Great conversation too.
Great.
Appreciate it.